You know what the number one trait is for those who are the 2%? You know? Tune in and find out here on Coffee with Ken. Welcome to Coffee with Ken.
Wow, what a cliffhanger.
I know.
I got to find this out. Good morning.
So, good morning.
Yes,
I
good
want
morning.
to, we've got Ken Brown here, CEO of Destiny Global, named after Coffee with Ken and my husband.
That would be me.
And we have Butch McCracken. He is general manager here at Destiny Global, and I am Dr. April Brown, and I am a coach and coach trainer here for Destiny Global. And what is the number one trait of the 2%? First, let me explain the 2%.
Okay.
2% are those who have built their wealth and they have financial independence and freedom,
Okay.
and that they're not dead or dead broke by the age of 65,
Mhm.
where the 98% are dead or dead broke by the age of 65 years old.
Which is very true, as
It
we
is
found out,
very,
right?
very true. So what is the number one trait of those who are the 2%?
They had rich parents.
No. No.
Come on, we got to have some fun and guess.
It's
What is
not.
it? What is it?
It is teachability.
Wow.
That makes sense.
See, she
Yeah.
kind of set us up for that, because you do have to be teachable to be successful, especially if you didn't inherit it.
Yeah.
Then you're just lucky.
But even keeping it, like
Yes,
those
so
who
true.
inherit
Yep.
it, right?
Mm-hmm.
They might think that they've got it made, but nothing that they did accumulated it. So how are they going to keep it?
Most billionaires, by the second generation, the money's gone.
Yeah,
Wow.
It's true.
yeah. So
a very true statement.
So we're talking about the law of teachability, what that means.
We should have guessed that. You should have known that answer.
Mm.
Maybe we're not very teachable. I want to be in the 2%, so how do I become teachable?
Well, let's talk about it, because that is one of our laws that we study here at Destiny Global that
It
we
is.
really talk about a lot, because it really is important. Let's just think about, if we go into something and we think that, and look at anything, if we think that we know already before we even start, like, oh, I got this. Even saying that, I got this, we're not going to have a mind of teachability. Instead of, I'm getting it. I'm learning this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the process of learning, because anything we should be being teachable. We should learn after people who are already doing it. We
Right.
should go
Right,
and
stack.
learn from them, and yes, get the
Absolutely.
stack.
Follow those people that have accomplished what you want to accomplish and
Mhm.
learn from them. That is very true. That is a core principle of this company.
Yeah, and anything where there's certification or you have to get a license like a counselor, you have to go learn from people. You have to have somebody that you're working with and a supervisor that you're learning under. There's apprenticeships, like
Right.
in industries, you have an apprenticeship, because you're always needing to be mentored. You're not going to you don't learn things osmosisly,
No.
That's a big
We're being
word.
shut down.
just from
No,
like
right.
sleeping, and you
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
learn from people who've already done it, and then they usually can help you to go even further, that you can even learn more.
Right.
Because you just have that kind of positioning of teachability. So talk to me about like some times that you have seen that in your own life. First, like maybe when you have been teachable, maybe when you haven't been teachable.
Well, I'll start off with the latter first, and that is being around people that are not teachable or know-it-alls is
Mhm.
really a major drag. Because when you try to teach them something and they already know it, and you pretty much know they don't.
Mhm.
Especially people that I've come across that have had some degrees of success, but like has been taught here numerous times, a little bit of success can be the most dangerous thing in your life, because you think you then know something, and the reality of it is that there's usually a lot more. It's like looking at an iceberg in the ocean. You say, oh, isn't that big? And then you realize it's 10 times that big underneath the water. There's so much stuff that goes into learning business and getting good at it. And when someone tells me they're good at business, so I said, you're good at HR, you're good at legal, you're good at finances, you're good at that's a big word, a really big word, depending on the definition of how you define that and what success looks like.
Yeah.
And what
Also
I found,
people skills.
people skills is the number one trait.
No,
It is
yeah.
still the most valuable thing. I mean, it's what got Charles Schwab, the first person that made $1 million in a publicly traded company was Charles Schwab, and he was hired into a company. He knew nothing about steel at Bethlehem Steel, and he was hired in. Dale Carnegie wrote about that in his book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, as you know well. And Mr. Schwab was the first one hired because of his people skills. Had nothing to do with his knowledge. Now, obviously, he learned this. He was a very fast learner, and then could learn and help people. But the process of him was really getting people to understand people, and to listen, and to seek to understand. But regardless if you understood, April and I have really come into this term of you have to accept that person. I mean, God accepts us where we're at. Otherwise, we'd be in real trouble, right? Oh, you have to be perfect before, oh, we're in deep trouble. No, he accepts you where you're at. He just loves you enough, he doesn't leave you there. He keeps working on you to pull you closer. And that's the way great leaders do. They know where you're at, but they accept where you're at, but they'll pour into you. Your job as a student is to learn and absorb everything you can. And when I have done that, I have had exponential growth. Right? And when you combine that with an ability, a high IQ, an ability to learn things, it propels you to a different level. Many people that I've met with super high IQs actually have the opposite effect of that, is meaning that they think that they know it all. They can learn something, they can read something and never put it into practical terms. I ran into that a lot in my academic career, where people theoretically have great minds, right? When you read communism in a book, it sounds good in a book about utopia and all these things, but the reality in application, it never works, because it has people involved, and people have egos and power trips and everything, and everybody should have everything. It doesn't work that way. You know why? Because some people want to hold more than everybody else, and even given the same rules, they'll take over other people. Why? Jealousy. All the hearts of the Spirit that are not good and aligned with the fruits of the Spirit go against it, right? Love, joy, peace, patience, kind of gentleness, self-control, right? Those things there's no law against. But for the things that we really get into is ego and jealousy, and I am the person and you should do what I tell you. And the greatest leaders I was ever around, and I was around a lot, was they never stopped learning. They never stopped growing.
Yeah, I've always seen this in you, of just people that you have looked to and allowed you to or them to mentor you. One of your greatest mentors, Jeff Heller. You've always talked about like a mentor.
Yeah.
There's never been a time that I've known you that I haven't heard you talk about a mentor and someone who's poured into you, your gratitude for that.
He did. He taught me so much about people, right? You can take business skills so far, but when you learn how to manage people, and he was the one who would challenge me, and is just his, because I look back, he had a lot of pearl in him. He was a person that cared a lot more about people than other things, and so he would challenge me, and he would tell me, Ken Brown, people are more important than tasks. Did you hear that? People are more important than tasks. That can be very difficult when you're trying to complete a project and the person isn't completing the task. You want to beat that person with the task book, Get it done! What are we doing? Where's my stuff? Right?
And so we had a 50th birthday party for him, for Ken, and it was a Top Gun theme birthday party. And I invited all of the people that he's known from his past. And so Jeff Heller
and with his wife Carol.
And his wife Carol. It's the last time you got to see him. And he actually went up to your dad, and what did he say to your dad, which was super meaningful?
He told my dad that your son stood 10 feet tall in meetings. And really, he broke my dad down, right? Because thinking about that.
I remember him also saying no one stood taller than Ken Brown. I mean, that.
Yeah, he did. Well, he was basically staying at 10 feet tall. I was when I went into meetings, because I would present with authority, but I would connect with the audience and the people that we were working with. And it was, it's just a very powerful statement overall.
Yeah. But I believe that's because of your teachability. Like, people look at it just becomes a desirable trait to people when they know that you're teachable, that you have all these gifts and these these things that you can do and accomplish and been successful, but you're still teachable. Like it's
Yeah.
a trait that people really admire. So it's really cool for
Sure.
you. Briefly, because we know people are on their breaks, so I want to respect their time. But do you have any stories of?
I was just thinking back to my first management job at 18, getting promoted to a night store manager for a supermarket and overseeing the night crew chief and the night crew older men, 40s and 50s. And, remember hearing certain ones would come back and be like, what's this 18-year-old going to teach us? We've been doing this for 20 years. And I didn't go in with the mindset to teach them anything. I went in to learn from them, because if I would have walked in as an 18-year-old,
Yeah.
I'm the boss. That's why my career would have ended very fast. But when you become teachable, to say, teach me what you do so I have a better understanding, so I can help you, you'll go places. But if you take the approach, I'm the boss or I'm the authority, that's not going to work.
Well, great leadership is, the best form of leadership is the leader that actually serves the employee to help them do what they do better and remove obstacles. And when we do that, success finds its way to you very quickly, because other people then want to come and work with you and for you and all the wonderful things that come along with that, right?
Yeah.
Because it is people that generate money with other people that drive economies and countries, and your life yourself is what you do, what you put into it, you're going to get back. So the more you give, the more you get.
So
Sowing and reaping.
So good.
It is.
So that's what we like talking about here, continuing to talk about being teachable, because it's so important. And that's why we have the trainings that we do, so that we can help you be successful and become the 2% that we know that you can be. We actually have, if you've gone through first steps, we actually have a training coming up in November that we want to invite you to, creating a dynasty. It has scaled everything that I have done. I was just talking about that earlier today with our coaches, that it has scaled everything that I do, changed my mindset. The things that I do still to this day, from my first creating a dynasty and continuing to grow in so many areas because of that. It's amazing, with relationships, with business, with really learning how to deal with people that are imperfect, and all of the things that we have to learn through that, and get the skills that we need to
This
do
is
that.
a skill-heavy event. Workshops
really
and the whole
is.
9 yards, where you
Very
really learn
hands-on.
how to break through. Yes, it's very hands-on. So it takes you through some gut-wrenching things to really help you break through on the other side of things.
And that's next month. The days are November 4th through the 6th in November. We want to see you. You can go to that link, sign up today, because we want to see you there. It is in San Antonio. Get your tickets. Get to San Antonio. We want to see you there. It is our only live Creating a Dynasty. For the last 2 years is our first one, and it is the only one of this year. You definitely want to get there.
And we have 6 spots still open. So we are literally selling this thing out. We have 6 spots. Go get your ticket. I want to see you there.
Get it right
I want to
now.
see you soon in San Antonio. Let's go kill it.
Yes, let's go. And join us next week here every week on Thursday, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Like, comment, share with all your peeps so they can come join us too for a coffee with Ken, and we'll see you next week. Thanks
Keep
for
being
joining us.
teachable. We'll see you soon. Have a great day.
See you again.
Bye.